All right, Keith, so it sounds like this is going to be the last really quote-unquote mild day before we get into what's going to feel like more normal December temperatures.
Yeah, and there's nothing crazy here, but you know that like 18 in the morning.
You feel that.
It'd be chilly.
You haven't had many of them. I shouldn't say that for the whole area. A lot of us haven't had many of them, and we're going to get into them. So we're 42 right now in Portland, 41 in Lewiston, and to Chris's point, it's going to be a while before we get to 41, 42 again in most spots. We're going to stay in the 30s and some 20s too. A little bit windy out there today. You probably noticed that. And I did warn you that it was going to be breezy all day today. Northwest winds, that's a cold wind direction, bringing in chillier air from Canada. And you'll start to see the effects of that later tonight. So temperatures fall pretty quickly tonight. From the 40s as they are now into the 20s by late tonight, early tomorrow morning, including the coast. Mid-20s inland, low 20s into the mountains, where they're firing up the snow guns pretty much immediately when temperatures drop below freezing. Now here we are Friday, good looking day, but chilly, 30s, maybe 40 in Portland and Sanford and into Portsmouth, but overall most of us will stay in the 30s. Now watch the cloud deck come back in from down East Maine back into Western Maine by Saturday. That's actually a storm trying to back its way in. It doesn't get in here, but it gets close enough to give us clouds, keep us around freezing, and give us an isolated flurry perhaps on Saturday. I actually think your better chance of a flurry now is Sunday. After starting with some sun, clouds come in from southwest and northeast, and we have a chance for a flurry there. So here's our storm trying to back in, doesn't get there. Again, clouds on Saturday. Now watch what happens on Sunday. We got a piece of energy coming from the Midwest, and it goes basically over New Hampshire and southern Maine and then blows up into a bigger storm offshore. In that transition, though, on Sunday night, we could see some snow showers in western Maine and southwestern Maine, and then there's your storm. Boom. That would have been a good snowstorm, but not for us, more for Halifax. So you can see the snow, not major, but just watch Sunday night. It fills in a little bit here. So we could see, a dusting is possible, I think, over western Maine, certainly into New Hampshire. They're going to see a little bit of light accumulation before that storm develops offshore. So it's not a big deal. I do think the bigger story is this. The legitimate cold. Overnight lows, average 23, that's Augusta. I took that as kind of a middle ground there. We're going to be dipping down below that Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday. So nothing crazy. You talk about, 18 is 5 degrees below average for Augusta. Whereas, we've been blowing away. We set a record high low temperature last night in Portland. Can you follow that?
Low temperature. Got it.
Warm.
Yep.
Yes, it was the warmest it's been overnight on that day on record. So obviously our cold anomalies are not as big as our warm ones, but we have a bias towards noticing these more. So it also be quite breezy too. So all that together.
And all those windy graphics for the next 7 days.
Just
5 out of 7, you said.
5 windy graphics. It's a new record for me, and it's
Great.
not really something you try to.
No, you don't need to beat that one.
No.
All right, Keith, thanks so much.